Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our podcast Beneath Your Skin. This is Gaia, totally crazy and so bored by the movie we are going to talk about today. Hello, my dear, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I am hot. As we film this, we are going into the hottest day of the year so far in the UK, and it was like 31 degrees by 11 o'clock today, and I'm a melty hot mess.
Oh, God, that sounds too hot.
Definitely, especially for a country that doesn't have air conditioning, and I've got French windows in my living room, so I'm trying to block out the sun so I don't cook in my own living room.
That would be a good idea. No cooking is allowed in the living room, above all when you are the main course.
Exactly.
Please, Zoe, don't die, because I can't do this alone.
I'm tempted to. I so hot.
Today, we are going to talk about a movie called Along Came the Devil. Yes, people, you understood correctly. The devil. I think they mean the devil with capital D, the
Yeah.
big boss. And no, simply no.
No.
I have to say something. Okay, this movie is boring. I think at some point, people who were making this movie got very confused because at some point the audience don't know anymore what we are watching. Is this an horror movie? Is this a teen drama?
Ugh.
Is this something else? We don't have an answer for you. For sure, this is not an horror movie in the way we love and intend horror movies. People working on this movie, they probably watched all the right movies, or at least they researched all the right sites. But this is just a nice example of people knowing horror movies. And at some point, to show us how well they know the matter and the subject, they decided to put everything inside one single movie. So we have people trying to connect to the spirits using a mirror. We have flies. We have flies everywhere. We have bad smell and smell of rotting flesh. Above all, we have a possessed child who reminds us of Regan McNeil. She was a modern Regan McNeil. Then, just because the director wanted us to know that they not only knew the classics, but also the modern productions, we have the scene between the younger Ashley tied on the chair with the two priestes, one young, one older, trying to help her and to exorcise her. And then we have the aunt, who is a mother figure, trying to save her alone. And that reminds us of the Exorcist TV show in which Angela offers herself to save her daughter. And yes, okay, it's a good example to show us that they knew what they were doing. But at some point, it's just that a school exercise, nothing else, nothing more. And it's a boring one. I
Very
have a
boring.
question. I have
Oh.
a question for Zoe. Yeah, because I can't find an answer myself. So I want to know what you think. At some point, we have this horned figure in
Yeah.
the corner. At first, I thought I was looking at the first bad attempt of the makeup Hannibal's Wendigo form carries around in that amazing show that is Hannibal. But no,
Yes.
it's a demon.
Yeah, it's definitely,
But
it's twisted horns rather than reindeer horns.
yeah, it's a demon. But when the demon walks to the bed where Ashley is lying and asleep, we clearly hear the noise of hooves
Yeah.
on the floor. what are they trying to tell us? That that demon is the devil with capital D, the big boss, or are they trying to tell us that for them every single demon has hooves?
Yeah, I don't think they kind of like, because it'll say, so along came the devil. So it's like, it's the devil's not going to waste his time on such small fry. It's like, I mean, along came the devil is probably a better title than along came a demon, because along came a demon sounds a little bit like along came Polly or something. Along came a demon, like, you know. But at the same time, it was like, the devil's not going to turn up there. Like, there is no reason for the devil to turn up there. I mean, the film is boring. It takes ages. Like, the first 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, nothing supernatural happens. It's just this drama about. Also, okay, so it starts off with an entire paragraph of exposition to tell you the plot. And you're like, oh, thanks, word. So and then they show it to us. So the thing we've just read this whole paragraph about these two girls whose mum mysteriously passes away, and then like they're left with their abusive like dad who's really horrible to them, and they have a really traumatic time. And then later on in life, the mum's sister like takes one of them in, and the other one like goes off to college. And we're like, okay, so it's just told us the entire backstory. Thanks. And then it starts off with these two girls whose mum has literally just like disappeared, being with the abusive father. Like, then it flashes forward and it's the aunt who's taken them in, and the sister has gone off to college. So what was the point of an entire paragraph of reading at the beginning of the movie if you were just going to show us the backstory? Is it just
I
so you could
was so
introduce us to the necklace? You...
I was so pissed because at first I thought it was one of the many cases of breaking the rule, show, don't tell.
Yeah.
So I was pissed because I thought they were telling us all the backstory. But no, I don't get why they had to write what we saw just a moment after we finished reading.
Yeah, exactly.
And the what would have worked a lot better is if they only had the quote at the beginning
Yes.
of the movie that the devil can take the form we love the most, even the one of an angel of light. That alone was perfect to tell us what was going to happen. But no,
No.
they had to tell us more, and I still don't understand why.
Yeah. But then, yeah, then we get, after that, the whole beginning all over again. We get 20 minutes of teen angst and teen drama and like, oh, I'm getting used to this new house, and oh, it's a new school, oh, and this boy likes me, oh no, I don't want to drink because I'm clearly only about 15, so you shouldn't be drinking anyway, you dum-dums. Oh, look, two of my friends are like, seem to be into paranormal investigations and have an EMP app on their phone. Let's listen for ghosts. Oh no, I've seen a ghost. It might be my mum. No, nothing's going to happen. We're just going to keep walking around the house, making sandwiches, going to this. And the things just happened off screen. It's like, oh my God, what happened? That you gave the teacher such a fright. And I'm like, what did happen? Did I just blink? Did I blink and miss an entire scene where she's like, oh my God, you gave the teacher such a scare? And it's like the aunt is all like, we've got to talk about what happened at school today. And I'm like, what happened at school today? They didn't film that unless I literally blinked out of existence and missed a whole sequence. So they're all talking about there's something that went down in school, and now she's all like edgy and moody and decides not to go back to school and run off to play hooky with a boy. And I'm like, what happened at school? Like, you can give us two of the same openings, like literally a red one, then film the opening. But then you have this whole crux of this plot about this incident that goes on at school, and they're all like, we're going to have to talk about what happened at school. Don't worry about what happened at school. Oh my God, what happened? It's like, I don't want to talk about what happened at school. Fine, but could we have seen what happened at school? No, we get. So it's like, and then it keeps on piddling over like this, and then the friends all like, oh, something creepy. You saw something creepy. Oh, have you watched The Exorcist? It's a great movie. We should really watch The Exorcist. Oh, The Exorcist is so cool. Like, oh, and Regan like contacts and lets Mr. Howdy in. It's all over. I'm like, I get it. You are big fans of The Exorcist. You know about Mr. Howdy. You know the movie. this is what you want to be homaging, but could you get maybe actresses that could act a little bit? Tell us what weird thing went down at school, and don't jump straight into, oh, have you seen The Exorcist? The Exorcist is great. Shall we do a seance? Oh, the minute you let the devil in, like Mr. Howdy in, it was all over. Do you know what would be really good? How about we do a seance and contact the mum you think you're seeing in the woods? And then obviously, like, it was like the third eye when they used the mirror. And I'm like, well, you've obviously been watching other movies. And they're like, ooh. And then they see the figure in the background. And they're like, oh, I'm not sure that's your mum. No shit, Sherlock, unless your mum is 7 foot tall with horns and furry legs. You can make out horns, glowing eyes, and furry legs. So I was just like, God, these children are stupid. And then the friend's like, this is a bit scary now, bye. And they're like, well, you were good. You're the one who wanted to do the seance. You were the one that wanted to find spirits. And then you're like, no, I don't like this, I'm off. Bye, deal with it yourself. And then obviously to show that a teenager is now possessed, all of a sudden her shorts have got shorter, her top's got more risque, she's biting boys' faces and getting nosebleeds. Somehow the aunt automatically seems to know she's possessed. She's like, this is not right. How do you know that? The only things that have happened in your house is you've had a couple of nightmares, and considering like the past history, a few nightmares, a picture fell off a shelf, a bed did a really bad shake, which they decided was an earthquake, so they even like justified that. So there was one shaking bed, one thing fell off, there was a funny smell and some flies. In honesty, it's 31 degrees in the UK, and I had some chicken bones in the bin from yesterday's dinner. There was a funny smell and some flies in my kitchen. Doesn't mean the devil was in my house. It just
Of
means
course.
I need to take
Of
out the
course.
rubbish. You know?
No, no, no. No, it means that you need the devil to take out the garbage.
Yes, the devil needs to take out his trash because it's leaving funny smells and flies in my kitchen. But you know, I rectified it by taking out well, my husband took out the rubbish and we killed the flies. So, you know, we've done an exorcism. It's all they needed to do, change the bins, spray some Raid around the place or whatever insect repellent, like, is your choice. Here in the UK, it's generally Raid. Exorcism done. And then it had all the random cliches. Like, it had the hot younger priest, and then the priest that was kind of like older and lived through things, believed in exorcism, probably done exorcisms, but is a little bit disillusioned with the church and the church trying to cover things up. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you could have at least given us some homoerotic tension if you were going to rip off the Exorcist television show quite so much. But no homoerotic tension. You know, Hot Priest was actually hot, so I'll give them kudos to them. But, you know, wandering around taking photos of things, you go, oh, the camera doesn't work, it's just getting blurry images. Oh, is it spirit photography as well? Let's ram that cliche in this movie. Again, but the thing is, nothing really spooky happened. And then suddenly, she's just possessed. And they're like, oh, she's possessed. And of all the places, she gets up in the middle of church in front of everyone. And it was all like, ha 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 ha, cocksucker, ha ha. And they're like, quick, get everyone out. She's possessed. Oh, no, she's run away to the woods. It's like...
No, it was so boring and it was so full of cliche. And I still should understand why the hell the youngest priest looked like a model. I mean, I'm not bitching about that.
No.
At least we had fun watching him,
Yes.
as long as he was alive.
Yeah.
And
I think I caught your curse, though, because obviously Hot Priest was my favourite. And I was like,
Yeah.
Damn it, Gaia, you've cursed me. Because, yeah, oh dear, poor Hot Priest.
You know, for a moment, when the aunt had the nightmare with the older priest burning in her living room, telling her that he failed again, yes, okay, I already knew that the mom probably had an history with being possessed or something. And the timeline doesn't add up at all. When they are in the car and we see flies flying around the mom and the aunt, and she tells her younger sister she's pregnant, and with which one of the kids was she pregnant back then? Because was she pregnant with her older child,
Yeah.
or was she pregnant with Ashley? Because if she was pregnant with Ashley, we could have somehow understood why Ashley was preyed upon by this demon. If she was pregnant with Jordan, why is not Jordan the one haunted by
Yeah.
this demon, by this entity? So when I saw that scene, for a moment, I thought that perhaps the older priest was Ashley's father,
Yeah.
because it would have made more sense for him to be so guilty and for him to lose his faith. Yes, that's another
Yep.
cliche.
Yep.
The older priest has lost his faith. He doesn't believe in himself anymore. What are you saying, people? That you already heard this story times and times again? Yes, we did too. And this time it doesn't even make sense. It's just something that they put there for us to catch. Real action only starts 20 minutes before the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And the end of the movie, do we want to talk about the end of the movie? Apparently, Father Michael doesn't give a damn about his dead younger priest, but he collects possessed people he couldn't exorcise. Apparently, there are a lot of people in that basement. And of course, he calls them by name and he feeds them and everything. And in the last cell, who is there? Yeah, you can guess. Come on, who is there? Sarah is there.
It's
Ashley's
like,
mom is not dead. It's just possessed in a very total way, in a way so deep that no one will ever be able to free her. So he decided to keep her in the basement. I want to know if they wonder about something, a question that popped in my mind as soon as I watched that scene. What the hell is going to happen the moment one of them free themselves from the jail and basically he's free to run with other possessed people in what it looks like a very small community? So
I mean, I'd
how
watch
long
that
before
movie.
yeah, how long before the whole community is dead?
See, the things like, I mean, I'll get to the ending because, ugh. But the things that, like, I was trying to think over, it's like, okay, so it's Along Came the Devil. So if it's following the storyline and it's the devil that's coming in. But then we find out the mum was worried about a pregnancy that she didn't want to have. She was like, felt bad that she got pregnant, which suggests that she's young and she's got pregnant with that idiot douche guy that she's now going to have to marry. But if that was the case, it would have been the first daughter she was pregnant with. And there was already like flies and she was already being weird. So was she possessed and then she got pregnant with douche person? But with all the fact that the devil seems to hang out in the bedrooms leaning over them, I thought they were implying that she was having a demon baby. Like the devil had turned up in the bedroom and got her pregnant. And then, so it's like she was having a demon baby. So it's like, she's not having a demon baby. She's had a perfectly healthy baby that's grown up and moved on. And then we've got Ashley, who, is Ashley a demon baby? Is that why she's upset? Is she not a demon baby? Maybe she's not a demon baby. Or maybe, like, the women keep escaping, so the entity keeps turning up and repossessing them. But the thing is, if all those people are in the basement, they can't all be possessed by the devil. There is only one devil. So you can't have that many. So, is the entity that possessed the mother different, has to be a different entity to the one that possessed Ashley? So who are all these devils and demons just hanging out in this town, and each one's trying to possess, then the guy catches them, sticks them in the basement? So, because otherwise, because if that was true, they would just release them and move on to another host. Because that's how demons, so each one must have a different demon in them. Because that's not demon possession, because demons can willingly let go of their hosts if they find a better one to go on. So, the mum somehow gets pregnant by the douche or the devil douche. Both of them, somehow. We don't know which baby is the douche husband baby, demon husband combination baby. And then they come back to the town and the daughter gets possessed by a different demon. Even though the demon is like, oh, I'm coming for you now. I'm like, but if the mum's possessed, you're already in the mum. You can't be in two places at once. You're still just one entity. Like, movie, I know you're trying to up the stakes and be like, oh, and you wanted to have the twist, but
Remember, only one is 1 and 3 people at the same time.
yeah.
So are you implying that the big boss, the devil, has the same power as God? So what is the equivalent of the demonic Holy Spirit? Because now I want to know. Because you need the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So
well, at the moment we've got the mother, the daughter, and a sister that's somewhere else. Because at the end of the movie, he calls the sister going, oh, I'm sorry, but now... And it's like, so the sister obviously knows the mum is possessed in a basement and is being called back because now her sister is possessed in a basement by different demons. It's like, what's the sister going to do about this?
Yeah, indeed. And it's not a great idea to call the only free person left in the family to come back in the town where the mom and the sister are now possessed and locked in a basement.
Yeah.
So it's not a great idea. No. But above all, why are you calling her? She's out at college. She's out living her own life. Why are you calling her? It's not like you can tell Jordan, okay, Jordan, dear, we have a problem. Do you remember Ashley, the sister you loved so much? Well, she doesn't exist anymore. Now she is possessed and she crawls along the walls and roofs. And she killed the priest. But don't worry, because like always happens in movies, when people who are possessed kill other people, nothing is going to happen to her, legally speaking.
No. Well, no one's going to find her again because she's locked in a fucking cell.
But, yeah, I still don't know how they are going to cover for the death of the younger priest.
No, exactly.
Hey, he was that's not my problem.
He was becoming a pillar of the community. And it's like, it was so annoying because it was another thing where they went outside for a chat, then they came back and she's just sitting on the chair going, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, why did you leave him? What happened? How did he die? Like, what happened in the classroom? How did the priest die? Stop. It shows us so much nothing. Like, long bike rides, the friend getting hit by a car, random musical numbers, the random band that plays in church. I counted there was like 3 musical numbers in this. There was the band in church. There was some song playing when the girl was walking through town really slowly, being all like, oh, I'm depressed about life. And there was another song at another point. And I was like, what?
When the nice guy gives her a ride back home after the accident in the classroom
the romantic,
we don't know anything about.
The romantic nice guy song. Also, what happened to him? Like, we know that she bit him and then she spat out a lot of blood and no, he spat out a lot of blood, but I'm assuming that did she bite him and then have a nosebleed in his mouth? Like, then how did she get home after the nosebleed? Like, did he still take her home even though she like pretty much tried to pounce him and eat his face? Is he not walking around town telling everyone that she be crazy, she bit me? Like, it's like, stop having things happen and then not showing us or telling us, but you can have 2 bloody openings to the film. We've got a bit of devils in the window as our only supernatural occurrence, potentially devils having demon babies, but we don't know. It's just implied. If they didn't want us to think that, they should have stopped having the devil crawl on the bed on her. And he's just going, so like, how did the young priest die exactly? He didn't strike me as stupid. And if you thought this demon was dangerous, why did you just leave her in a building with him? And then, the actual trying to do the exorcism scene, and they use the sound like she sounds exactly like Reagan. They use the same growls and everything, and the same words. She had a, green pea soup. She was screaming cocksucker, and your mum shags dogs in hell, or whatever the quote is. And it was just like, if you've seen The Exorcist, you've seen all of this and done better.
Yeah, because in the end, you gave us an homage to The Exorcist. You gave us the proof that you love The Exorcist so much that you wanted to make a movie in which you express all your love for The Exorcist, the original movie, the TV show, everything. But were you able to give us something original or something even good? Not
No.
at all. So,
No.
Zoe, we are doomed. At
Yeah.
the end of this podcast, we have to make a movie in which we express our love for The Exorcist. And please, please,
Oh
tell
yeah.
me we are going to do a better job than this one.
Yes, yes. I mean, we're gonna have to mix up some cliches. You know, just we've got to do better than this. I mean, I wouldn't
And
have it being annoying teenagers. I would have it older characters.
and knowing us, we are going to have some very thick sexual tension between our two main characters.
Yes, yes. There has to be some very, very homoerotic tension between our men. This is just like, I can't believe how boring it was. And then literally the last 20 minutes was the exorcism, then the priest died, then the exorcism failed, then then they were in the basement, and then it was the twist. And then it was like, da, 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 the credits rolling as if it was like the most amazing film. And that cliffhanger was just so good. And I was so scared by the woman popping up going, ah! I'm like, she's going to pop up. She's going to pop up. Oh, look, she popped up. Ah! It's like the devil will return, and along came the devil too. And I'm like, oh god, no, don't make me watch it. We're going to have to watch it for science. But
Yeah, of course we have to. Come on, we know that, Zoe. You know.
I know.
Oh God. Okay. If Zoe doesn't have anything else to say,
God, no. No.
people, please don't watch this movie. I mean, if you really want to, I guess you can, but yeah, you are going to waste 1 hour and a half of your life for
Yes.
nothing. And I can tell you the whole point of this movie is to show love for The Exorcist, but in the wrong way. So I think it was unrequited love. They love The Exorcist, but The Exorcist doesn't love them. And yeah, we can see that. It's an heartbreaking story. Unrequited love always leaves you very sad and in tears. This time we are in tears because we were so bored. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you want to tell us what you think, drop us a line on our Twitter account at beneath_your or join us on our Facebook page. We are on Spotify and Pinecast. Just look for beneath your skin. So, thank you for listening and see you next time. Bye bye.
As always, it's a pleasure, Gaia. At the moment, the pleasures are slightly salty. I have one word of advice for anybody. If you are looking into a mirror and a 7-foot horned man with furry legs and glowing eyes is in your bedroom, it is not your mum. And that is my words of wisdom for this episode. So for now, bye-bye.